Hi guys, today's video is actually going to be about under eye darkness. So there is a few different things you can do to conceal this issue. This video was specifically requested, so I'm going to talk about a couple different things you can do. If your darkness issue isn't that bad, you can just go in with a concealer. You can apply it, after your foundation, and it's just going to highlight your under eye and reflect light off of it. But when we start talking about real, bags under our eyes, that kind of becomes a different issue. So that is an issue that I deal with color correcting. I've touched upon color correcting in other videos, but I haven't gotten into it specifically for the under eye. What you need to use is some sort of light peach all the way to orange shade based upon your skin tone. So with color correcting, you're balancing out the opposite color. So those peachy oranges are going to cancel out the purple and the blue that you see under your eye. Based upon your skin tone, like I said, that will determine what color shade you need to use. So for me, I'm really fair skin. I've talked about this little palette before. It's the BH Cosmetics 6-color concealer and corrector palette. I'm able to use these really light pinky peaches, and that will be enough for me. But if you have very purple under eyes or your skin tone is darker, you're going to need to go to a darker shade. So they make colors all the way up to deep, like a rusty orange shade, and that's going to be helpful to you, again, depending upon the darkness of your under eye or the shade of your skin tone. So for me, I'm just going to go into what works on me, and you would just have to adjust the color to what works for you. You don't need to use a lot of color corrector. Any product under your eye, you don't want to use a ton, especially when you get into mature skin. That's where you're going to start to get the lines under your eyes, and the more product that you pack on, the more it's going to show those lines. So that's not something we're going for. I'm just going to actually mix these two shades. So on my finger, my hands are clean, I'm just going to mix these two shades and get a decent amount, and then I'm literally going to pat it on. Now here's the key to this. You don't pat on all the way up to your lower lash line. It's actually, and I'm going to see if I can get closer to my camera, it's actually going to be in your areas that are your darkest here. You don't have to go all the way up into here. So I think that's a common mistake when people are color correcting, is they go all the way up to their under eye, like to their lash line, and you don't have to do all that. That's again going to cause more creasing. I'm just going to go in here and tap it on under those darkest areas. So in the front of my eye, I do need to go a little bit deeper into my eye. Sorry, people are also texting me, and this is the problem with recording videos on my phone. I'm so distracted. I get like emails popping up, and I'm like, Jenny, stay focused. Okay, anyway, so look at the difference that has made already. So you can see I went closer to my lash line in the front, but I didn't in the back. And look at the difference between the two eyes. So I think you can see that. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye, same amount of product, and then just lightly tapping onto that under eye. You want to be really careful anytime you're working around your eyes. It is true. This is baby, delicate skin, and you have to be gentle with it. The more you're tugging, the more you're going to see that wrinkling as you age. Now on this eye, I have a little bit of purple on top of my eyelid, so I actually kind of go into that as well. So you can do that. Like if you have, some people have veinier eyelids, more translucent eyelids, so you can go a little bit onto your eyelid if needed. I used a little bit more product on this side because I tend to get a little bit darker on this side, but I'm liking the brightness, so I think I'm actually going to go back in with a little bit more over here. And again, we're working into that triangle shape because that's going to reflect the light. And then I just start blending it. So I'm just kind of blending it up onto my nose and down onto my cheeks. So you can see already it's made a huge difference. The issue with color correcting is it's not a one and done type of scenario. Concealer, it's a little bit less product, but it's not going to get the results you want. Now, I need to do my full face makeup. So again, I've got some hormonal acne, like things I'm used to, but I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of green color correcting on there. to balance out that redness. So that's not part of this video, but sorry, you guys are just kind of along for the ride. I always think that these videos like that I'm doing, I'm like, oh, these are gonna be so short and like so official and like I'm gonna make it so professional, and then I'm like gabbing away or looking at a text or like somewhat reading an email. So yeah. Okay, anyway, moving on. So that's a little bit of color correcting I'm going to do elsewhere for me. Back to under eye. Sorry. We are going to have to do our foundation next. So again, it's hard to do just solely the under eye. I guess I could just do it, but I want you to see what it's really going to look like with the full product. So I'm going to go ahead and do my foundation now. What am I going to do? Oh, I haven't done this foundation in a video yet, so I think I'll do this. This is the Josie Maran Vibrancy foundation fluid. I am obsessed with this foundation. If you have oily skin, because it does have argan oil in it, it's not always your best friend, but if you properly set it with a powder, you're gonna be fine, and the results are insane. Like, honestly, every time I wear this foundation, people are like, oh my god, your skin is amazing, and I'm like, no, it's not, but thank you, makeup. Okay, so anyway, loading some of this onto a damp beauty blender like I always do. And then I'm just going to look into my actual mirror, and I'm just going to be applying this around my face. This is a really nice foundation too, because if you do not like a heavy, thick foundation, if you're not a full coverage type of girl, I would really recommend this because I think the results are amazing. Like, I feel like it looks relatively full coverage, but it doesn't feel full coverage. So I do really enjoy this foundation, and like I said, every time I wear it, people are like, oh my god, like I've literally sold so much of this because every time people freak out about my skin, it just gives you this beautiful glow, and like the coverage is still really nice. So if you are looking for that perfect foundation, you're like, okay, I don't want it caked on, but I have some discoloration, I have some acne, this is going to be your go-to. I would really recommend trying it. And again, you know, go into Sephora. They can color match you, and they can give you a sample to try it. I always recommend sampling foundations because why would you spend the money on the whole bottle and then end up not liking it? If they give you a little sample cup, that's enough for a couple days and enough for you to build an opinion. I've been into these like headbands lately. They're so ugly and I look like a train wreck, but they really work to pull all my hair back, and so I can get up into essentially my bald spots. we can say my like widow's peak or whatever, but it's essentially my giant 5 head and my receding hairline. So, but what you gonna do? I want to be like Manny MUA and get like my hairline transferred or whatever. He was wearing hats in all of his videos for forever, basically, because he got, I don't know, plugs? Is it plugs or his hairline low? I'm not sure exactly what he did, but I'm like, girl, I gotta get on that hustle. Okay, so foundation is applied like amazing. I did not do it over where we've done the color corrector, so now we're going to go in and do concealer. But you can see, like, this foundation is really luminous and very pretty. Again, oily skin, we're going to be setting it with powder, but look at that. Yes. Okay. I'm so rambly always. Now, the concealer I'm going to use, I did finally, thanks to one of my girls, she picked it up for me because I don't go to Ulta. Got the Tarte Shape Tape. I don't know. I sometimes go to Ulta, but she had a coupon, and I was like, girl, you want to snag me one of those? Because I'm trying to try that Tarte Shape Tape. I can't talk. Okay. I'm not going to use it yet, though. For this video, I'm going to do my tried and true. So this is my Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer, and this is in the shade Fair Neutral. Oh, also, if you're wondering for foundation, this was color Supernatural RG10. So if you like skin like me. All right, so for concealer, I'm going to look down into my mirror. It's a little bit hard to like, because I get shadows when I'm trying to look in my camera. Okay, so we're just going to do a line and then sweep down, and then another line and sweep down. So using a good amount of product here. You can also do your nose, your forehead, you know, anywhere else you want to do kind of highlighting, but I'm trying to stick to the point of this video, which is that under eye conceal. So Then we're just going to, I close my eye and I go on top of my whole eyelid. I use this essentially to be like a primer for eyeshadow and also to balance out those colors that I have on my eyelids. So you can see there the difference in the brightness on my eyelid and my under eye. Like what a difference that is. And then depending upon how light you want your under eye to be, you would change the tone of your concealer. So I like a very highlighted under eye. I like it to be very glowy. I think it looks youthful. So I go with a very, very light shade of concealer, but you don't have to go that light if that's not your preference. You could get closer to your skin tone, but you would still want it to be lighter than your actual tone. So that is the video. That is concealing our under eye. So look at the difference it made. Now, it's not going to be perfect. I mean, you can continue, you know, you can do the baking, do with powder. That's going to continue to lighten. But I feel like for the average girl, she just wants to know how to cover up that dark under eye and get on the road. If I wasn't gabbing, this whole makeup thing would have taken, this whole makeup setup would have taken a lot less time. So this video is about 11 minutes long. In real life, you could do this in 5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and set it with powder and then move into my next video. But that's the basics. I hope this helps. Have a great day. Bye.